Welcome everybody to another motocross action video and another episode of the Josh and Josh Show. Josh Fout, Josh Mosman, and today we have the TM MX 300 ES carbureted 2025 two-stroke. TM is an Italian motorcycle manufacturer, and it's been a long time since we've had TMs in our fold. Now we've been living with this bike for the last 3 or 4 weeks, having some fun on it. This thing retails for $10,400, but we do have some upgrades on here. We got the different triple clamps with bar mounts. We got CNC machined clutch cover and ignition cover with some pretty cool looking fins. We got the upgraded Kayaba forks with Kashima coated uppers, DLC coated lowers, and we also had the Kickstarter. You have to pay extra to get a Kickstarter because this bike comes stock with an electric starter. TM 300, lots of fun learning about it the last few weeks. This guy's been racing on it, and in this video, we're gonna share all we know about this bike. It's been a while since we've tested TM 2-strokes and 4-strokes. Thankfully, now TM is back in the USA. There was a small spurt there for a couple years where we were without TMs. People asked for us to use reviews on these bikes. Unfortunately, we didn't have any. Ralf Schmidt was a longtime importer for TM USA. He was bringing bikes over from Italy. Unfortunately, he's not doing it anymore. It's been a few years that we didn't have him, and now finally TM has an importer again, and they're using Cam Mitchell and 71 Powersports. They're the TM importer for Canada, and now they've taken over TM USA, bringing these exotic Italian 2-strokes and 4-strokes back into the US. Josh Fout helped me test this thing. He raced it last weekend. We're getting ready to race it this coming weekend at the World 2-Stroke Championship, and it's pretty exciting to have one of these exotic bikes back in our fold. So Motocross Action last tested the TM 300 2-stroke in 2019. Since then, they've had 2 frame updates. In 2022, the TM 300 frame was new, and then they actually updated it again for 2025. Suspension has been updated, radiators, handlebars, and they even added a Kickstarter option for 2025. It's kind of funny. A few years ago, we were getting rid of Kickstarters, adding electric start on. Now for TM, you have an electric starter stock, but then you can pay extra to add on the Kickstarter. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah, look, this is what it's come to.
This is what it's come to.
Getting on the Kickstarters back.
So TM 300 2-stroke. We love that it's electric started. It's pretty fun. I mean, I haven't seen very many of us kick it. We've tried a couple times.
I kicked it once.
You kicked it once.
Just for nostalgia.
Yeah, just for nostalgia. So it's not fuel injected though. That's something we do appreciate about this bike. It is carbureted still, and TM 300 was pretty fun. Josh Fout, what did you think of this bike your first time getting on it about a week and a half ago?
Well, I think it's been since about 2017 since I've tested a TM. I think it was a 450 back then, maybe a 300, 4-stroke. First impressions, I didn't really have any expectations. It's been a while. You know, I'm like coming into this, hey, is it good, is it bad? But I was pleasantly surprised. I know I say I like a lot of bikes, but this bike surprised me. We don't see them very often. You just don't know too much. The power band, the suspension is a really great package.
Yep. And what was like the standout thing that you wanted to correct? Because I know we've made a lot of changes since day one.
Well, the bike isn't as powerful as, say, the KTM. It's a little lethargic. It just kind of builds power nice and slow. It's really easy to ride. So we kind of wanted to beef that up, but not make it the KTM. So we got some mid-range, we did some carburation work, we did some gearing, and we did a silencer. Got some more bottom end hit to kind of match that KTM feel, but not make it too strokey. Yeah. Don't want it to blow out of our hands. Too much hit. We want a real nice smooth power band, and we brought it up. pretty impressive with very little money involved.
So with the 300, we have been testing this bike back-to-back against our Husky TC 250 fuel-injected two-stroke and our KTM 300 SX fuel-injected two-stroke. The 300 platform is really a vet bike or an open class bike. It's perfect for this weekend, World Two-Stroke Championships. It's perfect for the vet classes, but you're not able to race it at Nationals. You're not able to race it at the 450 class at Loretta's. It's too big for the 450 class. So because of that, it's more of a vet bike, but also the 300 power band is very different than the 250 power band.
Yep.
Especially, you know, on the Austrian bikes, especially with the Yamaha YZ 252 stroke that we've been riding as well. Those bikes are a little more snappy, a little more peppy, little shorter power band, but when you get to the 300, it's something that we like to lug, and it really is made for a vet rider, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You hit the nail on the head. It's smooth, it's linear. You want to be able to lug it and be a little lazy. It almost has a 4-stroke vibe.
Yeah.
But the good sound of a 2-stroke.
Yeah, exactly. So we spent a couple days on this ourselves. We rode it at the We1 training facility. We rode it last week here at Glen Helen. You raced it on Saturday at Glen Helen.
Yep.
So we got it to a good spot ourselves to where you were happy with it to go racing, and you put up a good battle with Sean against our 300 KTM.
Battle of 300s, yeah. Good time.
And then today we had Ralf Schmidt, previous importer of TM USA, also here with Cam Mitchell, current owner of TM USA. Both of them were helping us learn this bike. Ralf is not technically a part of TM anymore, but he still knows a lot about these bikes, so he kind of helped us run through it. One thing Ralf did mention, the carb settings on this bike are different for 2025. He really appreciates the 7 slide, and there leans it out a little bit. It used to come stock with a 6.5 slide and carburetor, and that was a little bit too rich, so that was something that he would have modified anyways. Come stock now for 2025, and then you guys mess with some other settings. What'd you guys do?
Yeah, I like to call Ralf the carb guru because he really digs in and he's all about it, changing everything. But for us, we just wanted to get some more power. We wanted to keep the linearness, but have some more excitement. So what we did is we went in, we took the needle out, we richened the needle. I know it kind of doesn't make sense even though we just said that about the slide, but it really helped bring that middle of the power we wanted because that's what it was lacking. And then we're like, hey, we need some bottom. We went to the Pilot, we went from a 4.5 or 45 to a 42. That really helped get that bottom back, but it still wasn't quite there. Side note, we left the main. The main was a 180, and then from there, we decided, hey, let's go silencer. We ran through three different silencers 3 different times just to see what we really wanted and what really helped. And we ended with a HGS EMX.
Yeah, aftermarket EN silencer.
Yeah, EN.
Yeah. So the stock silencer that comes on here that we started with, a little bit shorter, and it's got the fake carbon end cap on it. It still looks like carbon, so I call it a win. But the shorter silencer is good for maybe a 125, 150. But when you get into a big 300 two-stroke, you want to broaden that power and kind of open that window up. So that's what you guys worked on with the carburetor settings. And then you tried some different silencers. The super long Enduro silencer that comes on the Enduro model 300 two-stroke, and then you ended up in the middle with this aftermarket HGS silencer that you can buy through TM's Power Parts dealership. So pretty cool. Ended up dialing in the power, huh?
Yeah, so it was perfect. Those pipes, it did a lot, but we really wanted to focus on mid and spreading it around. This pipe was like you said, was the middle, and it really took what that window of that mid-range power we were looking for and spread it open. You know, it was awesome. It really helped make this motorcycle more exciting, ride faster. You know, it was so much fun. It's so surprising.
That's cool. So how does this bike compare to the KTM 300? After Josh got it all dialed in, I jumped on it to confirm what he was feeling. I did appreciate that boost in power. This bike, a little bit easier to ride than the 300, but definitely a little bit lower on total horsepower and total excitement. So with the modifications you guys made to the carburetor, that's like cost a couple dollars. And then a silencer, you might have to spend a little bit more to get that. But otherwise, it's pretty impressive like how you can boost the power with just a few changes to the carburetor. That's something that you can't do on the KTM 300. That's gonna cost a little bit more money to get the mapping redone by Twisted. So we rode the 300 back to back. The KTM 300 is still more exciting, still a little more snappy than this bike, but the TM 300 isn't far off on power. But the big differences are in the chassis. This bike, aluminum frame. It looks like a 4-stroke frame. KTM, steel frame. Spring forks on the TM, air forks on the KTM. So this bike, the TM 300 does track better in my opinion. Josh, what did you do for the suspension?
Well, it does come sprung a little lighter, 44 in the front and a 48 spring in the rear. You got to go stiffer. If you're a bigger guy like me, 190 plus, faster guy like you, pro level speed, I'd maybe recommend a spring rate in the front or 2 to kind of get you that hold up, and maybe same in the shock. But for us, since we don't have all that at our disposal at the track, we ended up just going 4 clicks stiffer on the fork, compression only, rebound was good, 2 clicks stiffer on the shock, a quarter turn on high speed, which actually the TM has clicks on high speed.
Nice.
So it's really nice. That's 4 clicks.
Nice. So that's pretty cool. Also, we do have the A-Kit K-Alba forks on here. So Kashima uppers, DLC lowers. They look really cool. 18 millimeter shock shaft, a little bit thicker. And that's something that comes on all TM motorcycles. And the only other bike that comes stock like that is the Honda CRF 450 Works Edition. Of course, there's some other differences. This bike does come stock with an O-ring chain, good for durability, and it's got the 9-bolt sprocket. So for a long time, we complained about why there were so many bolts on the sprocket. We found out today why. It's actually because they're able to get a ratchet in there and go straight through the spokes to put your sprocket bolts on. You don't have to grab a wrench and squeeze your hand in between the spokes. So we finally have an explanation why there's 9 sprocket bolts on there. So that's cool. Does come stock with Bridgestone tires, and these grips, these are circuit grips. They're pretty hard for rubber grips.
Glue-ons, yep.
Yeah, for glue-ons. And then the exotic fins on the side. What are your thoughts on those?
Dude, this, I love it. It's good. Billet covers side to side. I mean, if you're an enduro guy, you're gonna love that because you're gonna break covers. It's just how it is. For us, it looks great. The billet's a good look. It's a nice gold magnesium color.
Yep.
This bike's pretty trick when it comes to looks.
Yep.
It's very factory looking for a bike we don't see very often.
And it's gray. We used to get blue and white TMs. This one's gray. What do you think about that?
It used to be pink at one time.
And they were pink.
I like in gray. It's kind of neutral. Goes with all your gear. I mean, I guess I wore gray today, but
yeah,
it goes with anything bright. So
yeah. And so TM USA, this thing retails for $10,400 stock. But as we mentioned, this thing isn't actually stock. We do have the upgraded triple clamps on here with the rubber mounted bar mounts. That does not come on the stock bike. The Kickstarter you have to pay a little bit extra for. There are Allen bolts all over this thing. That's probably something that we would like to change. Currently, there's no companies making bolts kits for this bike, so we're gonna have to talk to Bolt Hardware on that one. Otherwise, TM USA, check them out. Dealers are open now, and we're excited to put some more time on this. Stay tuned to the July issue of Motocross Action Magazine, where we get a little more in depth about this bike, logging exactly how it was for us. And thank you, Josh, for helping us out. Watch him this weekend, Wiseco World 2-Stroke Championships. Depending on when this video releases, you can check out that video live streamed on the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.